Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is David Castle and today I'm going to be talking to you about Python Decorators. Python Decorators enhance the functionality of your functions. I'm going to say functions a lot, so get used to it. Oh, skipped one. In Python, functions are first-class citizens. That's an actual programming term, I didn't just make it up. Basically, it means that functions are very versatile. Functions can be passed as parameters to other functions, and functions can return functions. See what I said, or see what I mean by saying functions a lot? The fact that functions can be parameters and passed to other functions, it's what is most important with decorators. So what's a decorator? A decorator is a function that takes a function as an argument and runs that function inside the first function, then returns another function. It's pretty simple, right? So let's take a look at an example, make it a little easier. Here we go. That guy and that guy. So here's a pretty simple hello world function. Clear this. So what we have here is hello world. We're going to print hello world. Very easy. When we call this function down here, because hello world is decorated by our decorator function here, it's going to call that function. And the decorator function takes a function, f, as an argument. So what happens when we run this guy? You'll see it runs this first part of, it gets to the hello world function, and then once it calls that function, it sees that it's decorated with the decorator function, and so then starts running that function, and we get this output. This is the first part of the decorator. Then the function is called, the function that we pass as a parameter, f, which is hello world, is then called and ran. Hello world prints. Then the next part goes. Then we return that function again, the hello world function. Easy, right? Yeah, so next, why do we use these, why do we use decorators? So decorators allow us to add functionalities to a function without altering it. I got my code here. So you see, I wrote the hello world function, ding ding ding, and I added functionality to it. This is the first part of the decorator, and this happened after the function, without having to alter either of those functions. So it allows you to sort of just add more functionality to your functions. And decorators make it easier to reuse code. You can see I used the decorator, I should have come up with a different name for that, here and also here. So I don't know what happened with this, but I don't know why. I must have run it more than once or something, but for the screenshot. But you can see this happens. This is the first part of the decorator. This is a different function right there, and this happens after the function. So I added this functionality to another writing function without having to change anything in another writing. And also it eliminates errors. Having to rewrite code can introduce errors. That seems pretty self-explanatory, but you know, if I had to write this code out for another writing, for both of these, well, then I can almost guarantee you that I'm going to get it wrong one of the times I plan on doing it. It's just, you know, I got fat fingers, so that's going to happen. So we can also use arguments in our decorators. In order to do this, we have to add these variable arguments, asterisk args and or double asterisk quargs. These are, you can really put anything. You could just put asterisks in there and you'd be fine, but the args and quargs part of it are conventional, sort of, you know, it lets people know what those arguments are. And these are pretty much required, I mean they're required for using arguments in your functions when you're using decorators. The cool part about the asterisk args and double asterisk quargs is it lets you use any number of arguments. I'm going to show you with the code I got here. Math. Yep. So with this code, let me run it. So with this code, what we're doing is we're running, I'm going to actually like that, over like that. We're running the add function, which just adds A and B together, and then we're taking that function and sending it to the multiply function. Wrapper's kind of a conventional thing that, at least that's in the studying on this decorators thing, I saw wrapper a lot. Here we take args and or quargs, so those are any number of variables, and put it into this function. Here we're taking A and setting it equal to the function that the add function. And I also did this other function called sizer, just to show that you could add, you could in fact send multiple variables or different numbers of variables to the same decorator function without it causing any errors. That's pretty handy. And then get out of the way. Alright. So decorators can also be nested, and this can be used to combine results or just enhance your functions even further. And they're executed from the bottom to the top. Now we're here. I got this one. So with this program, we're looking at, put that in there, a little space in there, make it a little more readable. We're still using the multiply function, and we're using the sizer, but I've turned the sizer into another decorator. So here, when I ran, I'll just clear this real quick. I ran that and I got 108. So what we're doing is we're taking, in this case, 4 and 2 is 6, where sizer squares the thing. It takes the number and multiplies it by itself and squares, and we get 32, and then 32 multiplied by 3 is 108. Believe me, I tested it, so I checked it, so I know it's right. Now if we do this the other way around, we will get a different result. 324. So in this case, it's taking 6, multiplying it by 3, and then squaring it. So like I said, it starts from the bottom and goes to the top. And then those examples weren't too terribly useful. I have this one here. It works pretty good. This is a logger. It takes arguments and it'll print out a file, example.log, I really didn't need to add kwargs in this one. I could have just used args, but it doesn't matter. I thought this was interesting. I don't think we learned this in class. These are placeholders. The curly braces are placeholders, and then when you do the inside parentheses after the dot format, inside parentheses, you can call variables to put into those placeholders. And then also this it's double underscore name, double underscore. So this is the function, and then dot double underscore name double underscore returns just the name of the function. I think that's a, I'm not sure what that's called. It could be a method probably. And then args is the args that we put in. So this is going to log this information. It's going to print to the screen the results of the add function, and then log to the file the name of the function that we used and the arguments that we put in there. So I'm going to run it. So there we go, there's that, and then I will show you example.log. I ran it one other time, so it's appending the log, and I guess I could delete it to prove that it's actually working. I shouldn't have closed that. So there it is. Alright, so that's pretty cool, right? The so that's decorators in a nutshell. There's a lot of information when it comes to decorators. I really suggest taking a look at them yourself. It was quite eye-opening, the amount of functionality in functions in general was pretty eye-opening. Alright, I hope this was informative and not too terribly long. Please have a wonderful day.